Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Salone Morning Discovery. Mina Sanatula Belsila, and I there with my co-host
Justice A.M. Tijan.
And with me at the studio, we get the executive president for Sierra Leone Association of Women in Journalism, winner Millicent Kagbo. Ego can't tell we about a report with a on July 28 with title Threats Against Public-Facing Women. Millicent, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, it's a pleasure for being here.
So, Millicent, quickly take me through the report.
Okay, the Sierra Leone Association of Women in Journalism, SLA, which started this process since January this year, with support from Internews US, we say that we look into what we call threats against public-facing women, but specifically we look at women journalists and human rights defenders. Human rights defenders can be women them, women activists them. Why we decide for do this report? Because we find out say there are a lot of issues them around online and offline threats, harassment of the woman there. But we get specific goals then what we want for achieve. First, we want to establish whether indeed the woman there they suffer, harassment or attacks online or offline. Then also we want to see the kind of harassment then where they suffer. The same way, so we want to look at the landscape, wetin are the laws dem wey dey, wetin are the possibility dem dey for let woman dem wey dey face dem challenges there if they wan go to the law, they able for get justice for some of dem case there. So that one then have been some of the objectives dem wey we set out for this research here. And we fact them, we been get a consultant, we been get we fact them through focused group discussions. We been get one McKinney, where we bring from other district them like Kono, inside McKinney safe, Tom Polini, we been Campo Clock, we been Candy. Then we be also get one abo, we bring from Kujo, bring other districts and we can meet them. Will be same way so get with stakeholders mapping. The stakeholders mapping now the key people that when they work on women's rights and women's issues them, law can sit down, law will map out, law will discuss with some of the issues there. So and same way so we get with key informant interviews that when questionnaires will give to people then. Some people that we interview them one on one for talk about this. So all of that information they all put together. 64% of the women journalists and human rights defenders that we interview say they don't face at least one threat from either harassment and threats or even violence where they don't suffer. And the three main threats that we come up with women they suffer within our public life. One na harassment, the other one na verbal attack, and the other one na violence where we na the three main threats that we come up with the woman they are to face. And for we feel say this the limit woman them we want day in public life for them no go. Because you wake up in the morning like I did a kid-AFAN, right now somebody they watch me and they say, look where you get big under, look where you go, look where you this, They want them, they kind comments and they especially online they break some of the woman there and make them one for TikTok positions them or even involve in public life.
Okay, so what have been some of the harassments there where the woman they are the face, especially offline, based on our interviews they will have been doing?
Okay, well, let us talk specifically for the woman journalist then. So when we go for the focus group discussion, a lot of things come up. One, that they face sexual harassment that they studios them, and then that they also face some from people the way that they go interview. So you go for go interview somebody, and this person begin making inappropriate comments then to you. And there was a situation where in one at the focus group discussion, the head of programs for a particular media BDD and then the journalist BDD. So the head of the media said, we dey explain a situation wherein, like for specific coverage them, like me get an institution, and they demand from the radio say, now label I want for go cover this program for me. Maybe upline travel they were waiting because that head of that institution they get an ulterior motive for label. And these are some of the things that we because the media themselves not get too much support. So until that person they now one of the people that we they give the media advert or they give them support or anything. That program's manager or the station manager he will just get for setting and say, oh label this coverage here they and in that particular situation, waiting the head of program say, he say it be get for indeed send that particular female journalist in for go cover the story. But yet there was another person where he put behind there say, do you go dey watch am for me, let something not happen, to am. That kind of way. So And a lot of things they talk about also being a journalist, being in your society. Some of them they get issues with their relationship then because they believe say, oh, woman journalists, that they pass too much, that they go too many places, they know too many people then. And for Local, we get a situation where a person in a female journalist, the man they get for say make it stop. Because they tell us say, we'll see you wife yanda, we'll see and the common yanda, we'll see and the go yanda. So the man begin for make it stop. And then the other one from Kono they talk say, whether they pass, they call them all kind names. Oh, this Nagari girl, this Paspaso Kona Depa. And some again, the man that they feel uncomfortable say, it's too powerful. That minister then they go interview and they wanna get business and that kind of stuff. Then. So all of them things then they break them down.
So what you intend for do with this report with all them findings they are we on able for put together, so especially for the female journalist them. I wanna want for change the narrative there.
So under the conclusions, the way we get, where the report come up with, one of the things then specifically the recommendation we go to the journalists then, now that media institutions then or media owners then for ensure say if they get an existing policy, then policy then they make sure say they work well. And if you not get an existing policy wey like dey protect the woman journalist then try for develop one wey go make sure say the woman journalist dem dey feel safe within the space where dem dey work and even outside dem dey go do their work. I bin just wan talk about the human rights defenders dem like the woman activists dem or woman dem generally within our public life. We dey see most of them woman dey hustle because people that they go post them like when you make a comment now people that they come begin post you tell you all kind things. Some of them woman they are waiting dem do now they restrict especially their social media platforms dem not to all man dey follow them. And some of them sef when somebody go make that kind comments they block you instantly because they no wan let you dey can make them kind comments dem dey on them post them because these women have family dem get people them. And during the launch we been get a panel discussion when we get top woman that we been dating and they were all sharing their experiences.
Yes, now another question where I've been just asked, you say during the launch, we see say on I get a panel discussion, and we see say now the mayor of Freetown be even do the launch. Coming to the panelists there we been day. On I get woman there among the we been don't face any of the harassments there will be ever go viral.
I will tell you, say we carefully choose the panel because all of the women that we be in at the panel, now women that we don't face online bullying, they don't face online harassment, and they were so bold for even express. One of them, now be a female journalist, we talk about harassment inside the media house, inside the work, we make a left kind of prefer something else than being a journalist within the newsroom because of the kind of things that they. And now she's a safe sister. I don't go through the safe sister training. I don't learn how woman dey for even manage online bullying and harassment thing. We instead one for pass the information and to other women dey be it journalist or any other woman within a public life.
Okay.
And now to the mayor, the we also get Marcella Sambasi, so we get Nasu Fofana, we been get Honorable Kathleen Zainab Tarawali, when a member of parliament and the chair for the gender committee in parliament. They all express how they don't go through bullying. That they call say you were when you want fever, lipstick mayor, all kinds of things. And what this project they do further than that, apart from the research we will do so when we don't launch the report, we also they currently track all of their informations they are like comments them. So we get two online track monitors them where they follow all of them woman they are so then woman they are within a public life. Then they follow them on Twitter, Facebook and everything. So every day we get even the WhatsApp group, then they screenshot comments them from the first lady to the mayor to all of them women they are so comments and people that they make under their profile them where they document them. So the next stage where Slow which get for going to now for see how they use some of their information they all don't gather for begin develop content them, online content them, media. That's why the partnership with media institutions they're very important for it. Although we in a media people then but same way so we need more support from real media themselves for giving the platform for the talk about them things there. Because again we find out say from the research, even the woman themselves they're not so aware about some comments that we people they make to them say this not bullying, this not harassment. They not get that awareness thing. So that is one thing for
So
some of them.
quickly, you can tell we waiting a bullying because you say not all the women they are aware say some of them comments there and are bullying statements to them. quickly waiting at bullying in your word or from what you understand by the word bullying.
So basically, like if somebody they can't tell you say you were war, you this, you that, they make like an inappropriate comments and they try for the make you, they try for make you look so low and bring down your self esteem. So that one day they try for you know good for the person himself. So but people then can see some of them comments they take a like fun and just pass by them. But now some of them things then they and some when they use verbal when they use verbal attacks them on the woman they are so like he will tell you say you weight loss you in a street we will beat you do this that one day they make the man they all the fear so there are a lot of things around
Okay,
this whole thing.
make I just start only there. What you now want to look at towards the bullying or like now as when I don't they go into when I don't get the figures, when I don't do all the research and what you know some of the thing them because like only somebody get for bully you even though we know say certain people can just want to do that based on their own discretion. But what you now also get at as now some of the reason why people can do that to most of them female journalism they.
Why not to like specific reasons? Some are not just like you. Some are say, oh, you will not belong to the same party. Some are not just like what you did talk. Some are not just like you being in front, advocating, being on social media and all of them stuff. And you have people who are active social media users. You don't want them when an active social media user. There's no self that they put on a Facebook. They hear that self that they put on a Facebook. So some of them thinks that they somehow they say, oh come on, you're too much. Why they can't put your life on our social media? Like it's the person's space and you get for respect them. So like there are no specific reasons when make that they do them things there. And something where I go one for note na that not to only man them, they bully or harass or use verbal insult on the woman them. There are women also where if you go social media, you see other women they really attack them company woman them back.
Okay.
So it's both ways. And you also find out that there are some women when they come forward, like me not go come for car attack label, I would rather use somebody, I will use justice for the attack label, but I am behind it. So we able to find out all that one from the
So
inside.
as soon as I don't go through this launch and I don't bring this report, what's in are some of the mechanisms we don't put in place for CCA when I handle thing and also the public get this awareness and even the one then at the different media houses that we indulge in then thing and also aware say they have to stop lenting there towards then female journalism also.
So one thing we do, we don't launch the report. And like wetin I dey here for, na for raise awareness. Say, oh, we don't launch this kind of report dey, what we don't do. And then the next thing now, na for see how we engage key institutions and individuals that we go say can give support to this because it's not about Slawich going out there and implementing all of this. We get for work and with institutions, then we get for go make them say, okay, then we don't do research, we don't get these figures, we don't get this, now so na the situation around public facing women then na the country. How would you support? Like you can go to maybe the civil you can go to call it CSOs then we will also add their voice to them. You can go to government institutions then where if you say really connected to that one day we will give support on how they can able well if we not end and say but at least let we minimize the use the day off.
Well, viewers, we dey go for a quick break and go join you soon. Don't forget to they get to be live from KID-AFAN Discoveries.
I am going to forgive her on this one. But the next time this repeats itself, then it means that you are no longer useful to me anymore.
Make sure I am protected.
Don't worry. You are safe.
How much do you want to stay off now?
It's only a fool that can think that I can trade my love for a chicken change.
What is wrong with you?
I am really worried.
Are you here to complete the job?
I am not aware of him having issues.
Junior is not changing.
Those are what makes a man. What do you think a woman needs from a man?
Why would you get yourself involved with a shoemaker?
He's not a shoemaker. He's a student just like us. Don't touch my skin with your filthy hands.
I was a qualifying year student at the university.
That useless daughter of yours, where is she?
Chief.
Bring her out! Bring her out!
Why are you after me? Why are you barking at everyone close to me as if you are my dog?
Please take it easy. Calm down and tell me what she has done wrong.
Just shut up! How can you be so careless? What is wrong with you? I'm sorry, you're bringing yourself into this fight, right?
He's after my son.
It is disrespectful to me.
Warn your son. So stay away from her.
There should be no problem.
No need to worry in this case.
So you're in this as take it easy.
Take it easy! Take it easy!
What is wrong with you? Huh? Are you mad?
Let us stop it on me. I'm doing my work here.
Now we not the fire, we the follow the smoke. The iron we know they burn or they broke. I be they talk and then they facing a joke. Me money and me power, no they tire for work. Give me.
Welcome back, viewers. Still with me inside the studio. We guest. We're now the executive president, Sierra Leone Association of Women and Journalists. We still happy for talk about the document we then just launched. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So now, as you don't explain all waiting around capture, now viewers go on for know how I intend for tackle the thing in there. What are the thing that we don't put in place for CC, even if we are not able to eradicate all, but at least able to minimize the level of bullying.
Well, basically, this not so Slawegian work that one day. And one thing where I feel say we need for the encouragement of this country now, follow the research so we get a proper idea of the situation. We have data. So waiting we don't provide now the data. And one thing where we go do from your side now for see how we're able to engage key institutions or individuals then.
Okay.
Or the data is out there and we'll make sure say we share this report here far and wide. When you yourself as a media person can use that report there, begin to programs around bullying of women, or interview some of them women there so we highlight inside the report or other women then we say no. Try for follow them on social media. Ask them how then they manage this thing because it's very traumatic, I will tell you. From the launching room that day, we get for you the experience of some of the women there, how they don't manage for beat that stress day of being on people and platform every day. They cost them, they tell them they kind of word and they. Some of them don't try for beat them, but you find out say they reflect on their families then. So you wake in the morning, they don't cost you, then you see don't like, oh this because me a public figure woman, this just get for happen. You begin will say and say, mommy, what's that? Mommy, I saw you on social media, they said blah blah blah. Your man will say, you begin will say. So it's the whole family where now the whole family, people the way they do bullying can they stress, not only the individuals and even their friends, because somebody in the room even explains say he gets one in friend and Madam Marcella say he gets one in friend where a friend can just, he said first day a friend they really feel bad as he can see them post button so they call her, hey Marcella, I see the, he said he tell her say you know what, calm down. He said I'm a public facing woman. I said anything there just get what happen. He said so now what a friend can do, when he can see the post, they open the post, they watch the post. He talk by the phone, he talk, cause event all this because if I tell Marcella if you not get for feel bad, me I made it feel bad.
Okay, so women participation, you know, or coming into journalism, you think say this is one of the reasons we go like tap them enough or come into or take the lead as women then inside journalism?
Well, don't forget about journalism because the report specifically, the report look at both female journalists and woman activists women within a public.
Okay.
So for the woman journalists, there might be thousands of reasons why somebody no one be a woman journalist.
Okay.
Just from the experiences, the things that we also gather from like the focus group discussions, them. You go see all man getting no reason why no one for me, or why somebody go to some point and then he left. You say, let me go do something else. I tire with this life here. So, but all of the issues there we come up, so they are very evident. Unless somebody no one be real with himself, but you will find out so then they happen, and we they see them in everyday life.
All right, Millicent, make we take you quickly from the report and go now to some of the work them ways which don't they do now the country and how not don't they try for empower and push women them before now the country, especially women journalists them all about the country.
I think this now wait here for we don't start with, but never mind. Slawich na 2029 we establish them. with the aim of changing the narrative of woman journalism. Let's just put it vaguely so. But with specific goals now for see how we can able build the capacity of woman journalism.
Okay.
Like even with waiting they talk so bullying. So a woman journalist cannot say, I'm a public figure. Find a way, do your work professionally, diligently, carry yourself well, and then leave the rest for able to manage himself, So basically, we build the capacity of women journalism, and also because the media is a powerful tool, it's a powerful platform, we also use that platform for amplify the voices of other women and young girls, because media is also expensive. You want for one a campaign now, you can KID-AFAN FM, they will tell you for pay good money because they are giving you a voice. So we they give you platforms across the country. We get membership. For that we they bring out issues that we get for the woman and girl picking them, and we don't do numbers of trainings, mostly around gender issues, gender reporting, all capacity building training, reporting generally for women journalism. And because we focus on women journalism, we want for see in the coming years, women journalists are not only the competing for positions that within the newsrooms, but even for national positions.
Okay, so how you rate the performance or the coming into journalism for the woman in here?
Well, I will tell you, we not ever do specific research for like how many women journalists that they come inside, how many women that they come inside journalism, how many they left. Okay. But what I will tell you from the time we established language and us going around the country, me personally, like most times we are travel across the country, I make sure say I dey touch base with all we members them at the district there. So before they go to the district, they don't call Kenema, and they come I need for me to tuna. Get a briefing with them, know what's happening there. Okay. And sometimes you will go to a particular media house, you meet 5 female journalists. 2 months, 3 months down the line, you go to one they meet. Because the job not lucrative. Money not there for this work here, so I make all commodity. Yeah, after how many years I spent on journalism, I need something which will keep me, something much more better. I know it's service and I feel like I still owe that obligation to my people for able to give that service day. But I think I'm serving in another way now, still within that fold day.
All right, you make mention say Slawich they give the platform to woman them because for access media houses, so for let them give you time it costs money. Now they approach the election come 2023. How I intend for render this service or give platform to woman them we want for go for different positions them.
So Slawich just end a few months back, just end a project with young women when increasing women's political participation. That's the whole thing. Where we will get a couple of activities. There will be one will train women journalists them on gender reporting around elections, because sometimes the words then what we they use, how we say they put the news together. We need a conscious say we they disadvantage the woman and bring a candle and make the man look more powerful where they also they contest for the same positions. And we know say already the woman then disadvantaged because the educational level low, and mostly the woman themselves will go into politics. So generalism. Now the one that we know they high there will not get education. Mostly now they there for those positions down there like councillors and all of that one there. And also the other challenges, they not get financial support. So you want to go say the good team up and politics, you might tell you say maybe 50 million go do. Now you know how the good team up now. And whereas demand them more powerful and then get them kind of support there. So from waiting we they do, we get that training day, we get engagement with women the way they aspire for the 2020 elections. We same way so we go na the district there, we go Matu, we go Kenema, we go Port Local. Go get an engagement, say we're ready for going on a platform. And how we are going to do this? We depend on media houses then. Already we get membership na the various community radio stations them across the country. And we believe that most of them get Women's Hour or Woman Talk or whatever program we're going for women. If they can dedicate that slot for the bring the woman there can make them can talk. Because another thing again, if we not showcase the woman there, we not give the woman them platform, they will not come forward. And other women themselves will get the intention, no will come forward.
Okay. As you talk about platform and also you talk about what in people or the journalists them forget inside this particular profession. Yeah, so as a body, we know say so many women in there out there in a different institution that they workplace then. How the body don't they do for say then journalists then did in welfare, because most of the times we can understand say some journalists then getting a certain media house, certain workplace then, but when it come to the welfare side, for capacitates them can be a big challenge. How the body can do for mitigate the thing and this one.
That a bit complicated because what we find out when we come over establish language now that there are media institutions where get the willingness to give better conditions of service to the staff there, but the media house itself they make enough money.
Okay.
So for even pay the staff then a challenge. It cuts across not for only the woman journalists then, na challenge. Now then they make the woman journalists then they left, some they go be teachers, some they go do some other things, So but basically the welfare what they talk about for women journalists then, it goes beyond the salary we they get. Like in the provinces, I remember Westler which we just established inside 2020. For the first time we get and the corona BD, so we get a Zoom for let we get an understanding of the situation of women journalists. Then we get a Zoom meeting. Even me, we practice journalism. That was my first time for really know the situation and plight of my colleagues then way, especially in the district then. Because from outside me practice, at least I was better off compared to even nowadays waiting some journalists and they take home. Yeah. And this was like 8-9 years ago where I left active journalism. So even for go fan story, now young resources. Now you they go on the field. And we go my journalists the way they ride bikes, when they left in at the province system. They go to interior communities. A story that we get for do with woman and girl picking them. Now they hand the lever. So you don't hear say they don't get this speaking in one village. You just have to take the risk. They not get better salary. They not get risk allowance. They not even get transport fare. They not get security. That's the risk way that they take for who do them. So when they talk about welfare, it's a whole thing where I think we need for putting at the table. We begin dissect and force and see how we engage. What we they do currently and for build their capacity force, do your work professionally and expose them to opportunities. Then we'll tell you that one day, Slawich members, and even those who are not Slawich members, because when we do our trainings, for example, it cuts across. Whether in a Slawich member or not, we bring other people can for benefit because for we the intention is to build the capacity of female journalists, not specifically Slawich members. And the opportunities what they expose them to, internship opportunities, small grants them when they on reporting. We don't introduce them to a lot of that one day where one internship where they participate in, they pay 2 million euros, where something in 6 months salary because she's being paid 150,000 euros or 200,000 euros, at most 250,000 euros for a month. Then you can get 2 million euros, not only 4 months or 6 months salary that one day. So these are the opportunities there. And another thing again, we dey try for push them. Don't be in your comfort zone. We like for go, they invite we and press conference. Chick, we go, we sit down. We come. He said, she said this, he said that. Now that no one can report. Or they invite you to training, workshop. We always challenge them. Okay. Go beyond your comfort zone. Try for be, and another thing we would encourage them for be specialized journalists. Then we get woman journalists where they report on the environment, report on marine, report on port, report on this, report on that one thing. They have to move from their comfort zone.
Okay. I believe say a lot's there for discourse, but because of the time and before we go, so as I don't present the document, so what are some of the recommendations that I come up with in moving forward?
The recommendations then plenty. I'm not going to read all right now.
Okay.
But again, I can just go through some of the conclusions. Then one, we find out say the awareness very low, the understanding of existing laws then very low around bullying and threats of women them. We also find out say low self-esteem. That's some of the things that way they bring the woman then down more and more, and self they don't know say for reports some of the issues there. So and you where they go report. So now if somebody like we're on a platform, so somebody can cost me. Some other moments they unable one for go screenshots, it cost me delete them. There is no system, no platform, no day. Maybe a central system that the country said. I don't know of any where go even track that one day. Where not to make it forget the body. So now if I go to police, say I go for go report justice, I see one justice, so I don't click in profile, assisting a justice. Don't say this about me. Then they ask me for the proof. What if you change your name? You change your profile picture? How do I get to it? So you back where they will make the report, now you get the body for proof say this can't happen. So what they say there should be a system where for able to support with the evidence of some of the things they do. Then we also see say woman they don't voice them frustration and disappointment for the failure of the systems then. So you get few woman that we don't try the system. But you go waka, you go push, you go this, you don't have justice. And you go say, we feel that Miller left and so you know want that stays there. So these are some of the conclusions that we will come up with. And like I said earlier, how we engage with key institutions then. First of all, Slawich will find the time for seats. Again, look at the document within team and we try for look and map out specific institutions then or individuals then we feel say we need for engage and we will start for getting engagements then with them how we all will support and make sure say if we not end up but we minimize them.
So, whose message you go on for pass to the viewers then now where they watch you with regards this report and generally things we get for do with women?
I think so the woman they not get for stop because despite them things they are all they see so more women are coming up and more women are they become more thick skinned when worry so much about this and then still they do waiting that they do because for some of the women there they have the passion they want to see things change so issues then like that one they know they bring them down but the one the way they do them things I hope they get conscience say you not only they affect that person but in whole family and whole generation now that they try for bring down because may we sit down there so somebody begin cause me na social maybe pikin na cry go cry mommy I saw this go begin dey cry so you don't even trauma me pikin you don't trauma me whole family so I think say let we give the woman then the opportunity we give them the platform let them freely do the work because we believe say woman themselves get a lot wey dem can offer for change society not only for themselves for them pikin and the whole family.
Okay, viewers, that's now Millicent Kagbo will be joining me inside the studio. In the executive president for Sierra Leone Association of Women in Journalism. We've been we discuss on the document where they may launch. We now threats against public facing women. And you don't hear it as what's in it don't say to us all of this. Well, now so we go bring the end of the program. Me na Justice E.M. Tijan.
And me na Asana.
Well, we want to say boku thank you to we executive producer Dr. Aisatu Kake Jalo and also to we camera operators who make it possible for you for watch and listen to we. So till we meet again to another Salone Morning Discovery, we want to say Tata.